We're still up on the tripod. The shoreline community of Hope Bay. Windy this morning. You can probably see it in the trees. Angry lake this morning. Oh yeah. Do you know what? The weatherman says by about 1 o'clock today, rain will be over. It's not raining right now. I think it's about a 70–80% chance of rain between now and 1 o'clock. And then I think we're starting to a clearing trend, an improvement in weather. And tomorrow it's supposed to be sunshine. Tonight's low is like 3 or 4 degrees Celsius, maybe 38–40 degrees Fahrenheit. That's okay. It just means a chilly start in the morning, especially if we have wet gear to put on. Beautiful little community. Oh, by the way, welcome to day 29 on the Bruce Trail. Whew, Hope Bay. Okay, you know what? Let's keep pushing north, shall we? Hope Bay glacial potholes. 10,000-year-old potholes formed in the last ice age. Granite rocks carried by glaciers from the east side of Georgian Bay, along with tremendous pressure and water flow, scoured the softer limestone during an ice melt. Wow, 10,000 years ago, these what appear to be pretty much perfect circles. These potholes were scoured out. Isn't that amazing? It looks like perfect circles, like it's man-made, like a well or something. Just take a look at that. Wow. A little bit of totally amazing history here on the Bruce Trail. And yeah, I love the history of trails, or parts of trails. Again, on the Appalachian, there was some amazing history from the Revolutionary War, from John Brown's body lies a mouldering in the grave. We all know that one. Hey, but I knew the nursery rhyme, or what I considered a nursery rhyme. John Brown's body lies a mouldering in the grave. But it's not a nursery rhyme at all. It's just it's a song, I guess. But what I didn't know was this all took place in Harper's Ferry. Harper's Ferry is the, I guess, logical midway point of the Appalachian Trail, and where the offices of the Appalachian Trail Conservatory, the ATC, is located. You stop there, you get your picture taken, and you get a midway number. Mine was 186 or 188. I can't remember. It was one of those two numbers. Anyhow, some great history all through that area. John Brown was an advocate for not having, you know, for abolishing slavery, if you will. But anyhow, I didn't know any of this. Super, super interesting. I walked through the areas where General, was it General Lee? Grant lost his life, and other famous names. This is a little tricky, is this down here. This is super slippy because it's wet. It's not very deep, but boy, it's wet, so I'm just going to put you guys away. The first major lookout of the day, Hope's Bay. Over there, probably almost directly ahead of us, is probably where I camped last night. Just in those trees. Wow. Isn't that amazing? Okay. Now that is a beautiful view this morning. Certainly is. Weather seems to be clearing. That's good. No rain yet. Since early. And I was still in my tent. I decided just to lay there and listen to it. And I did. Okay. Challenging today. Oh, most days, I guess. But today is slippy again, rocky again, rooty again. All the usual things that just come into play when you've had a lot of rain on them. They become significantly more challenging simply because they become much more slippy. And you have to be very, very careful. Okay. A break time will be coming soon. It's a matter of finding a little spot to sit on, maybe take that break. Okay, let's keep going. Let's look for a break spot. It's a good idea. Something that we've talked about before, and certain things people have commented on and even asked questions about, is how does the Bruce Trail compare to other trails such as the Colorado or the Appalachian? Most of the questions are in regards to the Appalachian. So let's just take a minute and just talk about that for a moment. In all truthfulness and all fairness to all the through hikers, section hikers, and so on the Bruce Trail. Bruce Trail, no doubt about it, is a challenging trail. We got some pretty good climbs, I guess, in like Beaver Valley, Blue Mountain areas. You got a varied terrain. I never worked it out, but I think somebody once said there's about 10 or 15% of the Bruce Trail is some kind of road walking. Okay. You don't get much road walking at all on the Appalachian. The odd little bit here and there. Underfoot. The underfoot terrain. I've noticed on this northbound through hike a significant change from Niagara Falls to, say, Wagner Marsh. That was a much easier overall going trail underfoot. But I noticed, I think that's where the trail goes through there. I noticed from Wagner Marsh, well, to where I am now, and I'm about, I don't know, let's say about 15, 18 kilometers to Lion's Head. I've noticed from Wagner Marsh to here, underfoot, the trail did become significantly more challenging. very similar to what you're seeing right now. Now, a lot depends on also the weather conditions in combination with that. We've had a lot of rain. That lot of rain made these rocks and roots extremely slippery, treacherous underfoot. Is it harder than the Appalachian? No, it is not. It is significantly easier overall than the Appalachian. There's no doubt about that. However, the Bruce Trail should be given the respect it deserves. It is not an easy trail. It is a challenging trail. It's demanding. It's long enough at 900 kilometers, 600 miles, to require a serious commitment. Now I'm talking about the continuous through hiker here. I know on the Bruce Trail there's a lot of people and a lot of trails, you know, will hike it over whatever period of time. I think the Bruce Trail Conservatory is the only conservatory that I know of globally on any kind of trail that I'll acknowledge, like they always call it an end-to-end hike, but I don't believe that to be correct. But anyhow, let's just say an end-to-end hike over a period of years, whereas most of the trails, it's in a 12-month period. You have to do it in a 12-month period to be considered, I'm going to say, through hiker, because it really is what it's all about. When you start a trail at one end and you finish at the other end, then you have through hiked that trail. When you do a section of a trail, let's just say the Niagara section of say the Bruce or whatever it might be, that would be an end-to-end hike. If you start at the beginning of a section, finish at the end of a section, that's considered an end-to-end hike. Through hike, you begin at the beginning of the trail and you end at the end of the trail, the finish of the trail. That is a through hike. So I'm kind of referring or talking about continuous through hikes. Like for me, I'm approaching, you know, tomorrow morning, let's say, I'll arrive at Lion's Head. And tomorrow morning will be, I think day 30. I think we're on 29 right now. So that's 29 days up to now of continuous kind of progress moving forward on the trail. You have to take into account, by the way, zeros and neros. These are times when you're through hiking, but you're not actually moving that day. Or you hike into a town, a hostel, a motel, a shelter earlier in the day. That would be considered a nero. And a zero is simply not hiking. You're just like I did in Wyton, waiting for the rain to pass. Some of the rain to pass, the major rain to pass. So I took a zero. But that still has to be calculated into the overall days that it takes you to through hike a particular trail. So hence today is day number 29 for me. So yeah, just a little bit more information. So yeah, the bottom line is this. The Bruce Trail, it deserves a lot of respect. It's a good, solid, challenging trail, and kudos to all the through hikers that have hiked a continuous hike of this trail. You guys have done a great job. Okay, speaking of great jobs, let's try to keep going forward. Windy. Whew. Can hear the lake to my right. Probably wind noise in the camera, in the audio, and I apologize about that. But anyhow, it's 1 o'clock. That means there should be no more rain. The weatherman said 1 o'clock today. That would be the end of the rain here. Now, just for point of interest, I haven't had rain since about 5:30 this morning. I think 5:30 was the last rain. So I was laying in my bunk listening to it. Tomorrow, sunshine. That's going to be nice. About 12.5 kilometers to what I believe is going to be my water source for the day. Still carrying a full liter of lunch water. I haven't used it as of yet. I probably will later. I took a quick 5-minute break, an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. But I've just been eating bars as I go most of the day so far. Okay, just a little bit of a kind of a midday, early afternoon update. I am seeing a few more hikers. I saw 4 guys that are doing a section hike, but day hiking. They're staying in motels every night. And then I saw another young guy. He was doing a section hike. I don't know where he's staying, but anyhow, it's good to see a few people out here. I haven't seen many for a few days. I haven't seen anybody for a few days. Okay, the trail right now, sorry about bouncing you around like that. The trail right now is the easiest we've had all day. Up to now it's been very Jurassic, rocky, rooty, slippy, challenging. But then all of a sudden we just dropped down in elevation. Well, halfway down the escarpment. And we just came out on this kind of green tunnel trail, which is much better underfoot. So we'll take it, because the going has been slow today, that's for sure. We're only looking at about a 26-kilometer day. Well, okay, 26 kilometers to the water source. Camping after that, who knows, could be right there. Often it is. And it's always preferred a wet camp. But look, this trail looks just great right now. Well, let's just hammer some miles in while we can. This area right here, just off Rush Cove Road, was one of my overnight camps. I think it was the first northbound through hike I did. But it's not going to be my camp tonight. No. I'm just looking for a spot to sit and make a little bit of lunch. I don't know. Maybe by a tree. I remember sitting at this tree, but there's more growth and stuff there now. You know what? I think I'm just going to keep going a while. See if I find something that's sheltered and a little bit more comfortable. Okay, that'll work. Let's just keep going. This is an amazing build by the Bruce Trail Conservatory, the volunteers, their engineers, whoever's. You guys have done a great job on this build. Oh, and take a look at that beautiful view. And you notice that blue sky in the distance on the horizon? That's coming my way. Look at this build down there. Amazing. You guys, oh, even a bench there to take a seat. You guys have done, I don't know, it's an Herculean effort to build these here. And you guys have rose to the challenge and done so well. Okay, what does that say? It says Beth Gillespie Side Trail. Okay. Barrow Bay Cliffs Nature Reserve. Whew. Again, first of all, take a look at that blue sky on the horizon. Music to my ears. the community of Barrow Bay. Wow. Isn't that something? I think we go around the bottom end of that lake somewhere, because I'm actually hoping to get water from, I believe, a river that runs from that lake inland. That's what it looks like on the map. Anyhow, once we get the water, I'm not sure what time it is right now, but once we get the water, camp water, we will then start looking for a camp, because I'm pretty much ready. I think when I get to the water source, hopefully it's a water source, it shows it as a river coming away from that lake or creek or whatever. But anyhow, assuming we have access to it and stuff. But at that water source, we'll call it a water source, from where I started this morning, I believe it's about 25 kilometers so far. And then whatever else after that till I find a suitable camp area. Would be nice if there was a camp area right there, something that I could tuck into quietly. But anyhow, we'll see. We shall see. So let's head down there along the trail. I will look at the app and see how far I am to the hopefully water source. We'll go from there. Okay, so as we approach, I guess, the road and the bridge in Barrows Bay, I did check on Google Earth, and that's a great app, by the way, to have in conjunction with the Bruce Trail, simply because it will show you what the terrain is going to be. But you can also do that on the Bruce Trail app, but you do need Wi-Fi or data connection to be able to do that. But anyhow, I had a look, and it is indeed what I was thinking it was. So it is the bridge, there's the river. I've got water there now, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. It's about 1.5 kilometers away from where I am right now. But if you look at the trail, as we approach that area, you'll notice we've gone from that kind of Jurassic feeling rock and root and very, very uneven ground to more kind of grassy. There's a parking area through there. By the way, parking areas around a parking area can make a good tenting. But anyhow, always looking a bit behind me, 1/4 kilometer behind me, there was a handful of really good kind of camp spots, but it's just too far to collect your water and then backtrack. You don't want to backtrack that 1.5 kilometers if you don't have to. It would be an occasion where you just had to. I think here we're coming out to the road, because I see houses. So if all you could find was something like this, that will work just fine. The grass is a little long. You kind of have to stamp it down a little bit, but you are hidden there, especially from the house across the street. So in all truthfulness, nobody would ever know you were there. I think the last ways we have to go into Barrows Bay is along this road. I think it is. Yeah. Okay. I see a sign on the right saying Barrow Bay. So yeah, it's going to be fine for water, and then we'll see about camping. Now, if I recall correctly, and again, I did see this on Google Earth Maps just now, to the left of the river, there was a big kind of home type thing, but it looked to be back in the day abandoned and so on. I often thought to myself, it would make decent camping around there. But I never have camped there. I've never had to. It's never been the right time of day. There's the Bruce Trail blaze. So we are on trail. Anyhow, let's just keep going into Barrow Bay and just see how we make out here.